What happens when a game's launch is hyped, but as soon as it's released, it's full of bugs, technical issues, and lack of gameplay purpose? It breeds confusion and extreme emotions like anger in the players' hearts. Something similar happened with Bethesda, one of the most popular video game developing companies. For years, they have been trying to fix their reputation and gain their fans' trust. However, when the same mistake is made twice, it becomes an even bigger issue, which can be almost unfixable. Who is Bethesda? While Bethesda Studios has been home to some of the biggest game names like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield, and more, fans have never shied away from showing them the worst response, and for good reason. You see, Bethesda has two main frameworks: Bethesda Softworks, which is the main company, and then we have Bethesda Game Studios, the ones that create some of the most renowned RPG titles we have ever seen. In the gaming world, this studio has helped amass one of the biggest user bases. However, their releases are known to be buggy and frustrating to the point where fans just leave them. Just look at Fallout 4, a game that was released in 2015, and for the first time in 6+ years, they're putting out a patch to fix their past mistakes. It's quite odd how a company this big and known for making iconic titles can struggle with something so menial as poor initial release. General fan backlash for Bethesda. Whether it's releasing popular games like Fallout 76, Fallout 4, and Starfield to the new Fallout season, the studio almost gets backlash with everything, to the point where it started to hurt the whole brand. You see, when a game is newly launched, fans expect it to be perfect, and when it comes to Bethesda, they make awesome games. However, when it comes to the development of this game, mixed with the short time frame, it causes problems, real problems. With the release of games like Fallout 76, the company sort of became a punching bag for fans, to the point where some fans started blaming the community for everything. Fallout 76 fan backlash. Fallout 76 was the main downfall of Bethesda, at least in the early stages of its release. In fact, it was such a huge deal for the gaming community that people started hating the studio for everything that was going on. Fallout 76 was basically a multiplayer version of the Fallout games where a bunch of people could play together on one server. Initially, the main premise was that Fallout 76 was a complete mess of multiplayer with uninteresting gameplay, a lot of bugs, which the company was already notorious for, and microtransactions that seemed to make gamers furious. To put things into perspective, it took the company 5.5 years of updates, fixes, patches, and giving them free content that made them calm down just a little bit. But this is one of the few controversies that Bethesda had to face due to just Fallout 76. One of the biggest issues early players had to face was bugs. For example, the game would be stuck on the loading screens, NPCs wouldn't even appear, and the worst one was an error on PlayStation that would corrupt the whole game. Just imagine reinstalling a 60-gigabyte game. How much did it affect Bethesda? A lot. However, a lot of people still wonder why the whole mess actually happened. One of the biggest points that led to this initial downfall was the rushed development of the game. The main issue with Bethesda was that they gave a huge game to small offices instead of assigning their A-tier team to it, which led to a lot of mishaps, code failures, and issues, making Fallout 76's release a total mess. Starfield fan backlash. However, that's not the one and only time Bethesda has gotten backlash. But this hate probably wasn't even justified in some people's eyes, because Fallout 76's disaster put so much resentment in people's hearts. A game like Starfield that was launched in 2023 carried that hate. Fallout 76 eroded trust in Bethesda's ability to deliver a polished experience, leading to a more critical reception for Starfield. Then, many gamers thought that just like Fallout 76, Starfield contained unmet expectations. That is because the game felt more like a familiar Bethesda RPG formula in a space setting rather than a groundbreaking space simulator some envisioned. And just like most other Bethesda games, this one was no exception. In other words, the game had technical difficulties that made it even more prone to backlash. The response? Well, that's where Bethesda messed up hard. Instead of doing real replies, the studio company was accused of using some sort of AI to cater to the negative reviews. This further turned off many fans, with the gaming company losing trust and fans. Fallout series fan backlash. Recently, we saw the release of the Fallout series' first season. As soon as it was released, the season got a lot of backlash. Some fans thought that the series showed a huge disconnect between the game's lore and the storyline for this season. However, that was later proven wrong because a lot of people think that the studio did an amazing job in portraying the roles correctly. Many actors playing in the series are actual fans of the games, and they have been playing Fallout for years, making them ideal choices for the cast. But with enough controversy all over the internet, Todd Howard, the popular executive producer at Bethesda Game Studios, addressed it himself. According to him, he wanted to make this series as another entry that would be unique from the actual game series. When making the Fallout television season, they treat it like any other game release, aside from the fact that it was actually a television series. How did it all affect Bethesda? Fans have always given Bethesda a hard time. Sometimes it was justified, and the gaming studio actually had a lot to work on. But with some other games and the new television series, it's just like fans are holding on to resentment, putting the studio in a tough situation no matter what happens. Due to all the negativity, a company like Bethesda has lost a big chunk of its reputation, fans, and potential future gamers. However, they still don't shy away from making improvements and putting out the best versions of their products for their beloved users. And if you're interested in more videos like these, then watch the next one coming your way.